This is my 1992 GXL 1HDT 80 series, and today I'm going to give you a full rig rundown.
I'm gonna pop some tags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a comer. This is fucking awesome.
Now, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a flashback from when I first got my 80. So, I first picked her up in September of 2022. Now, I originally had the old girl called Bluey. She was a Mazda Bravo. I'll chuck up some photos up there, but she was a little beauty. Obviously, when I first got my car, I had to get a four-wheel drive so I can get out there and camp and four-wheel drive and muck around and destroy cars and whatnot. So, this was one of my first cars that I picked up. It was an old Ute. I slowly fell in love more and more for off-grid camping. So, heading to some random spot, having a mad setup, so then you could survive off the car pretty much. Now, unfortunately, Bluey, my old Ute, hit some limitations. So I did it up as much as I could, and slowly and surely, some of the rest of the boys were picking up some better Utes, Patrols, and 80 series, and I felt a bit left behind the pack. So I was around, I think I was about 18, and I was searching on Marketplace, going for gold. I sold Bluey, unfortunately. I stumbled across this little beauty on Marketplace in 2022. Now, it was down in Tweed Heads in New South Wales, so it was a little bit of a drive. I'm from North Brisbane. First off, I saw the car and I was like, wow, holy smokes, she is super clean. Now, it was sitting for 25 grand. It had 360,000 Ks on it. It was super clean. It wasn't really done up. It had, set of tires. It had a 2-inch lift. I didn't want something too done up because that would just take all the fun out of it. But so yeah, I drove down Tweed Heads, picked her up. I got it for 22 grand, so I bargained them down a little bit. So I've had the car for 3 years, setting up a full tourer mode. But now I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown of where I'm up to and what's happening with it and future plans. So we'll start off at the front of the car. Now, last episode, some of you guys may have seen that I put in the new Bushdor 4x6 Angry Eye headlights. They're little beauties. Now, next up, I've got a GMEW aerial with the fold down, obviously here. Next up is this Lightfox. I think it's like a 30-inch or something like that. Light bar at the front, which has worked a treat for me. Now, next up, the golden question that I get all the time is where on earth did I get my bull bar from? Now, some small fabby near me made this up a couple of years back actually, and I picked it up from another bloke who was sort of passed down a couple of lines here and there. And I've also got a King's Dominator winch up the front here, but we'll move on to the tyres now. So come whip over here. So these tyres, they're 35 by 12.5s R15. So yes, they are 15-inch rims. Now these rims are from my old best mate, Yee Lee, down South Brizzy. So these rims I was a little bit skeptical of, but the thing was, I first bought the car and I was like, I don't want the same old rims that everyone runs. I think it's called AH Maxon Tyres down in South Brizzy in Archerfield there. Now, this bloke, Yee Lee, he sells a whole bunch of rims. Now, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give these rims a go because I heard a couple of good things about them, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna give them a whirler, and I can't even point them down. They are true beadlocks, so I've tested them out. I've had them like at 5 PSI through Glasshouse. I had them right down for Nagala Rocks when I was telling the tinnies right through. I've had these rims for at least 2 years now, probably 2.5, and I honestly must say, I cannot fault them. I cannot fault these rims at all. I'm running 3 of the Sailwind Mudhorse tyres, mud terrain obviously. I am planning to upgrade my rims and tyres soon anyway. So if you see any Savs on the market, please let me know, because that's what I'm looking for. So this 80 series came on a 2-inch lift, and I thought, blow that, I'm not gonna be sitting on 2 inches of lift on a 80 series. So I was on the search on Marketplace when I first got the car. I think within like the first 6 months, I came across shocks and coils combo on Marketplace. Now, I love me Marketplace. I can't get enough of it. Every morning, every day, on the dunny. I offered the bloke, I think it was $600 for both of them. He owned them for like 6 months, and I was happy enough to take them off his hands. So they are 4-inch Superior shocks. I think they're about 10.5-inch travel in the front and rears. In the front coils, I'm running 4-inch heavy-duty fronts, Dobinsons, and then in the rear, the same 4-inch. I do need to get more heavy-duty coils in the rear because it does sag in the rear with the setup, which we'll crack on soon. So underneath here, we're running a very, very simple and basic setup. Now, I know you're going to think I'm long overdue for an upgrade, and yes, I'm with you on that, but I had some other priorities first, and unfortunately, suspension came at the very, very last thing of my priorities, which is soon to change because I am in need of a major upgrade, but I'll still give you a rundown. So I'm running Roadrunner adjustable panhards under here, still the factory links and factory steering arms here. I'm running Superior caster plates under here. I know I'm in need of some actual long arms. Now, obviously my diff is off camber, but that doesn't give me too many issues on the road. I got extended brake lines and diff breaders under here, and I'm running the Superior sway bar extension links as well. But for now, that's my sort of front suspension running here. Very basic, very stock, but it's also a good thing because it just proves that you actually don't need all the fancy dancy suspension parts to run a big lift in your car. Now, obviously got some towing mirrors on here. I think I got them off eBay. I did a video about cutting them down because they obviously were the ones that were extended out of here, but I cut them down a while back to just bring them in. We're running an Outback Tourer 270 awning with the Tier 1 Metalworks roof rails as well. I do have the crossbars to go up on there, but I haven't installed them yet. And obviously with the Outback Tourer X tent with a 200-watt solar panel on the roof. I cannot recommend this rooftop enough. The X hinge just gives you so much more room, and you don't know until you try it. Major difference coming from a normal clam rooftop to an X rooftop, make it so much better. Now, these windows are 5% tinted. This is a factory 80 series visor, which was another marketplace steal. I think I got it for like 400, 350-ish bucks. When I first got the car and I was 18, I wasn't happy with the black fiberglass flares, so I thought, blow this. I don't know why I ever thought of it. I don't know why I ever made the decision, but I thought, I'm gonna put some cut snake flares on here because I just thought it'd be so sick. Anyway, biggest regret of the 80 series. I was running cut snake flares for like a year and a half, 2-ish years. And then the problem was, as soon as I ripped that old flare off, I think I sold the old ones for a couple $100. And I had the cut snakes on there, but I could never find nice factory flares again until about 6 months ago, 8 months ago now. I've got some plastic 80 series factory flares on here. Rightio, so now cracking on onto the rear of the car. So we've got some mud flaps that I made up a little while back, and I'm running the black LED tinted tail lights on here as well. This rear bar here, I picked it up from Marketplace, got a ripper of a deal. I think you get it up there for like 1,500, something ridiculous like that. Anyway, I got them down to like 500 bucks. It was an absolute beauty. I will never forget that deal. So quick little rundown on the rear bar here. So tire swing obviously comes out to there. So I am planning to do a little bit more to this rear bar as time goes on, because I'd really like to fit it out a little bit more and sort of finish it off, because I don't think it was quite actually ever sort of finished. But basic 2 jerry cans, 1 water, 1 diesel. Eventually I am planning to put a proper water tank under this thing. I'd like something around 80 to 100 litres just so I can head off for a couple of weeks and be sweet for water. When I picked it up, I put new brake lights and indicators because they weren't in there. Then I also put a number plate light in as well. I am planning to put a lot of different stuff in here. I've got some sick ideas that I would like to test out on this swing away here. Potentially like a bait board or something like that that I can sort of mount in and mount out whenever I go fishing. Now, I also got some 3-inch pod lights on here, which I'll try and chuck in a couple of photos of them. These bad boys work in a treat, they're spotty, so I normally use them for like late night fishing or wherever I am when I'm camping. So I'm running a side dump 3-inch PPD exhaust, and I've got to tell you, for a factory 1.8 GT, she sounds pretty mint, so I'll chuck up a few videos for you. Now, for this snorkel, it's a 4-inch snorkel. I picked it up from a small fabby in Burpengary, and he actually made these and fabbed these snorkels up in his back shed at home. And so I brought it off him and fitted it all up, which came out super mint. Now, I'm running a few other accessories throughout the car that I actually can't remember. Like, I'm running some rock lights underneath, you know, black indicators, black side indicators. But yeah, there's a few other little things here that I've just, you know, put in here and there and got throughout my years of owning this thing. Rightio, so now it's time to show you the heart of the build. Now, this is a factory 1H DT. At the moment, I think it's got around 415,000 Ks on it. So there's actually not too much done to this motor. As you can see, it's still very, very factory. I'm running a new high flow turbo in there. The old one was leaking, so whapped a new one in there. It's running around 16 pound. I've never actually had this thing on the dyno, so God knows what it actually runs. But look, for this thing, I wanted something reliable, and I wanted something where I didn't have to worry about the motor. Got a lot of mates that run stupid power in their cars, and unfortunately their reliability is next to none. And the best type of reliability is factory. Half of the reason why I also haven't done up the motor too much is because of my fuel economy. Now, because I do a lot of traveling, whenever I use this thing, I'm always driving a fair good distance, and I love to have good fuel economy because, as we all know, fuel is at ridiculous prices these days. So the fuel economy in this thing is running around 11 or 11.5 litres 100. So if you do the calculations on that, it is absolutely insane for an old 4.2 diesel. But that's why I haven't really done too much to it. I've been like, you know what? It's reliable, it's given me good fuel economy, it gets the job done. Like, I've towed tinnies through Nagala Rocks, I've gone to Fraser, I've gone to Morton, I've gone to Glassy, I've chopped GQs. There's nothing really more that I actually want to do with this thing, and engine-wise. And I think, like, as soon as you touch the motor, it's not just one thing, it's sort of like one thing after the other. Like, if you do your injector, you may as well do your fuel pump. If you do your fuel pump, get a bigger turbo. Oh, you get a bigger turbo, oh, you'll need, bigger airbox and bigger intake, and you start going down the line of like a rabbit hole. So my idea was, I'm pretty much waiting for this motor to give me end of life. Then I'm either going to get, another 1H GT or an FT or an FTE, and then hopefully do that up properly and get everything done at the same time, then whap it in. So as you can see, there's a cheeky little blue plate at the back there, which actually doesn't really save you too much in my experience talking to cops, but it's gotten me out of a few little pickles here and there. It's motor plated for 4-inch lift, 33s, and GVM upgrade, and also just the rear seats being taken out. And honestly, you can't get any better than that. No blow by at all, mate. It's been like that our whole life. She's healthy as anything. One day, hopefully, I can get to doing up this motor a little bit more. I'm sort of waiting until it dies out, but just to show you how healthy it is. That's enough of the motor. The interior inside of this thing is very, very basic. I've got a double DIN radio here, a GME TX 3500 in here, and just a normal GME radio so I can talk to the boys on the UHF. Obviously it's manual, got some SAS gauges in here, got oil pressure, and I got water temp. I am planning to upgrade them as well. And I've upgraded all the speakers inside here. I used to run a 12-inch sub, but unfortunately I put that in the daily because I drive that a bit more now than this. I've got the Brass Monkey center console fridge here as well, which I've used a couple times, but now I just use it for more storage. Throughout their whole 80 series, obviously they've missed the concept that people want to carry their water bottles or a couple of beers inside their car. They missed that step. So what I've got here, I've brought this cup holder. Now this cup holder is from eBay. I'll pull it up somewhere. Now I had made some modifications to it, so it's just literally a plastic that's just got 2 cup holders on the side here, and then I've got room to fit in my multi-sig socket here as well. But yeah, brought this off eBay, cut it down, made bolt holes, and I bolted it through the flooring of the car, and then it also is connected and tied together to my center console fridge here as well. Now it's also got carpet for floors, which is, come in all right. I would prefer to get vinyl, and hopefully maybe one day I'll get the time around to swap it if I, ever get that time. It's got what it needs, music, UHF, center console, cup holders, gauges. It's got everything I need for it. So, when I bought this car, I only really wanted to put in the bare necessities, which is what it's got. So, but yeah, now we'll crack on to the back here and I'll show you more what's going on. Rightio, so now we are at the rear seats of the 80 series. So as you can see, there's no rear seats in here, which I took where the party happens, the rear setup. So this rear setup right here is very simple, but it worked a dream for me, and I'll tell you exactly why. So I built this rear setup around a year and a half ago. So all it is 13mm ply that I just boxed up and cut up and wrapped some carpet around so I can fit some XTM drawers that I got running up here. So first one here, this is kitchen. First one's kitchen, so salt and pepper, cups, coffee, whatever, everything in there. And then down the bottom here with the heavier stuff, just running all my spare parts and tools and whatnot. Then I'm also running a fridge slide here, very basic. Now this is a kick-ass fridge slide because it also comes with a cutting board. But yeah, look, very simple, 75 litre. King's fridge, which has worked a treat. I've had this for a couple of years now, hasn't let me down, so why get rid of it if it hasn't let you down? At the moment, as I talk to you about, I'm needing to upgrade my 12-volt charging system, because obviously now I'm charging when I go camping. There's a lot of cameras, drones, phones, all the bits and pieces that you need to record for YouTube. So at the moment, I'm literally just running a control hub here. It's like a little mini control hub. Down here is my little charging system. Now, I can really only fit a couple of phones, maybe a drone, and then I'm pretty much full back here. So when I go camping, this back area can get very, very messy. This aisle down here is all, other storage as well. So, rags and axes and shovels and you name it. it goes in here. Gas cans, all that sort of jazz, which is, you know, worth the treat. So I'll show you a couple of my ideas for future plans and let me know what you think. But so I'm planning to cut another piece of wood up here, which is going to go, you know, directly on that angle. So it's going to be a nice clean cut. And same on the other side here. And I'm planning to either make my own or buy some gull wings, so these wings that can open up. And pretty much from here, all this here, this is going to be like my charging station for all my cameras. So I'm going to like make up some boxes, and so I can charge everything, phones, drones, cameras, you name it, can charge everything in there. And then this side here is undecided yet. Probably all the kitchen stuff is going to go relocate to go in there, so I can sort of keep everything nice and neat, and, you know, keep the missus happy because she loves the cooking. But yeah, with this rear setup, I pulled all the flooring out. I pulled the carpet out a couple of years ago, and I rust proofed it all. Sanded it all back. There's a wood platform on the bottom here which everything screws into, and then I've got a rubber mat as well that I run around just to keep everything nice and tidy. I'm also running some, you know, very basic lights. Up here, there's a kick-ass 30-litre strip lights, which can go from, you know, amber to white and mixed and all that sort of jazz as well. A few other switches here that I'm running. I've got one that runs up to my rooftop tent to give power up there to charge the phones at night, and then I've also got the pod light switches over here as well. So they work an absolute dream, but that's pretty much my rear setup. Now, I know I missed a lot of details, but that was most of the information about my 80 series there. I'm setting up this car for touring. So, you know, I go out to forward driving, go out to glass house here and there. You know, I don't really find it as fun anymore as I used to. In the old cars, I used to go out there literally every single weekend. I'd flog it on the Saturday, then fix it on the Sunday, and that was how it went for all year round. But for this thing, you know, I want to tour, I want to relax, I want to rock up to a camp spot, I want to grab a beer, I want to grab a rod and relax. And that's exactly what I built this car for. Now, I have no idea how much this 80 series owes me, but I'm sure it's quite a heck of a lot of money. So my main plans for next year is I'm going to be finishing off the 12-volt setup in the rear setup with the gull wings at the rear, and then also making up a full wooden setup at the back where the rear seats are, just so I can fit a bit more storage, get a water tank happening under there, just a few more tourer mods to make that life a little bit easier while we're out in bush. Next year, I also want to crack onto the suspension as well, get some more spicy things happening under there, because there's, you know, I've jumped the gun on that lift, and I never really have caught up to what's needing it to get done. Obviously, you know, I'm also running Neg 44s. Hopefully I want to try and stick away from them because I'm sick of doing the wheel bearings every 3 months. Now, if you have any other questions about this rig, please leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.